Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is giving thanks, which is timely given that it's Thanksgiving. And we get to look at all the things in our lives to be grateful for, not just the things that we normally say thanks for, but the hardships that make us grow, and the challenges in life that breed compassion within us and all aspects of our lives. And before we get started, let's take a couple minutes to get present. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs and flowing into your bloodstream and nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And this time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, all your molecules, your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together, vigorously rub your palms together and feel the friction, the temperature, the pressure, the tickling and tingling when you stop rubbing them together, and allow all those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables you to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Rosalind. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, and to everybody else who's joining us. And I think we get to, I love that while I don't love the history behind Thanksgiving, I do love that we have a day, at least, that is meant for giving thanks and for gratitude and appreciation. And I think we get to expand our notion of what we can be grateful for. So, we often express appreciation, or maybe not often enough, express appreciation for the bounty of our lives, for the good fortune that we have. And we can use this day also to, to be aware of those who are less fortunate, and to be maybe sourcing some generosity around that, and toward others. But we also can be grateful for the things that we often feel oppressed by. So oppressed in terms of sadness or challenge, difficulty, because these are the things that also shape us as humans. It is our the obstacles of life that challenge us to grow, that challenge us to become more than we have been, to rise to the challenges, right? And it is, as much as it is the goodness, it may be more the difficulties, the challenges, the obstacles that shape us in so many ways to become who we are. Even the deep traumas of our lives have helped to hone us and shape us. In the midst of them, what we want to do is survive. And in as we move through them, we develop new perspectives and new skills. And as we're able to get beyond them, we can metabolize the experience in such a way that it is actually enriching us and building us into creating new depth and new dimension in our being, our perception, our capacity for compassion, our capacity for understanding. And so I'm challenging you this morning to look at the things in your life that maybe you experience trauma around. Maybe you experience shame or resignation, and I'm challenging you today to look at those things as potential gifts and to look for the gift in those experiences. And it may sound Pollyanna, to do that, trying to paint everything with a positive brush. However, there is an opportunity there to gain a new perspective, to enable yourself to grow beyond the tragedy that you may have experienced. And there is so much to be grateful for, because all these things are part of life. All of these experiences that we experience are part of living. And it is when we are faced with dire circumstances that we find parts of ourselves that we didn't know we had. And have the ability, we have so much ability that is untapped. So just want to talk about yesterday in my core connection group meeting, we did spoon bending and fork bending too. And I don't know if you can see that there. If I put it in front of me, you can see it. And this isn't, we didn't just do it with our mind, like sit there and think that, oh, the spoon or the fork would bend. It took some physical effort, but what happens is that the fork and the spoon comply, with the intention when there's non-attachment, which is really interesting. If you're attached to it, it won't bend. But if you have an intention, it will. And so why I'm showing you this, besides the fact that it's just fun to do spoon and fork bending, why I'm showing you this is because it enables us, it gives us access, it gives us a physical representation, physical proof that the way that we think about things isn't necessarily true, that we limit ourselves, that we have a much greater capacity, and that there's a lot that we don't know, that there is, that we have access to resources and information, like the nature of reality and our being here and being alive is something that we don't have a direct experience. We project our experience. So as part of the workshop, I showed a video that, let me see if I can share the link for it. I shared a video that was a TED Talk. Yeah, I think I can. Okay.
Me and I came to this country from Africa with the hope of.
I found it. So I'm going to give you this link. And this talks about how we hallucinate our reality. That we don't, hopefully you see the link in the chat. We hallucinate our reality. We don't really have an experience, a direct experience of reality. We're projecting our it looks like, let's see, it doesn't look like it showed up here. So let me see if I can, I'll put it here. Okay. So there, now the link should show up in the chat, hopefully. Let's see if it did. Doesn't look like it did. I don't know how to get the link to show to you, unfortunately. So if you look up, if you go to, if you look up Your Brain Hallucinates Reality as a TED Talk, you should be able to find it. And it's fascinating because there was a demonstration in the context of that video where they used, I guess, sort of virtual reality to project this image of dogs into the environment. So like when you, the idea is if you're preoccupied with dogs, everything's a dog. In other words, if you're preoccupied with fear, everything's a danger, for example. And we project that, we hallucinate that out into the world. And it was so fascinating. And it was so accurate to our experience. And I to get back to being thankful and gratitude, we have so much capacity, and there are so many things going on in the world that allow us to reflect back on what are that are causing us to consider what our own reality is and what our own hallucinations might be, and to challenge ourselves. We have the opportunity, like this is something that I'm reframing for myself, is that all the upheaval and all the disruption and all the things that look like they are so devastating going on in the world, we can use those experiences as opportunities to grow. And we have so many opportunities now when we can actually be grateful to be alive in this time of upheaval, because there's so much new that's being born in this out of the craziness. You know, there's so much so much that we might be truly despairing about. And what we can do perhaps instead is recognize that we can utilize those circumstances to raise our awareness, to galvanize us into action, to inspire us to create something different. And Dr. Zach Bush, who he's a medical doctor, brilliant guy, comes from an engineering background as well, started Farmer's Footprint to be restoring our soils and our food system. And he was talking in a recent webinar about times of extreme crisis. And we are facing times of extreme crisis with climate, with the water cycles of the planet, with so many things, the cycles of fire, flood, drought, that in these times of extreme emergency, there is emergence. There is emergence of new ways of thinking, new ways of being, in new ways to adapt to and move beyond the limits of existing systems. So I thought that was a brilliant observation. And what I'm wanting to do today is to be expanding our notion of gratitude and giving thanks, and being in a space of rich appreciation for all of life, not just cherry picking the stuff that we think is good, because the stuff that we think isn't good or that we think is bad is also enriching us on all different levels in all different ways. So in expanding our notion of appreciation, you know, it's easy to appreciate the beauty. It's easy to appreciate the bounty, even though we don't often do it. You know, many of us just are not present to the appreciation that we could feel. And it is such a wonderful feeling to feel, right? It is a high frequency to be feeling gratitude and appreciation, to be present to the awe and wonder of this magnificent world and our magnificent bodies that enable us to experience it, our consciousness that interprets it, that when we can presence ourselves to just the magnificence of the fact that we have experience, that we're experiencing any of it, the pleasure, the pain, all of it. It's like the range of emotion, the dynamic ebbs and flows of life, the heartache, the joy, all of it is experience that is so rich. You know, I often talk about life as the 10-ticket ride, you know, like it's got all the aspects, all the different senses, the sensual experiences, the emotional experiences, the cognitive experiences, you know, and we're here for such a brief time. So Rosalind says, getting better at feeling rather than getting rid of unwanted ones. That's beautiful, Rosalind. Yes. Getting better at feeling, like being able to be present to and appreciate all the feelings, like to step back, and even in profound grief, to step back and to be appreciative and give give thanks and gratitude for the depth of that experience, the profundity of it. You know, the deep, deep, deep wells of grief that we might experience that are shaping us into something new. Good morning, Gia. Good evening, Gia. And it's Thanksgiving here in the US, so we extend that to you, a happy Thanksgiving to you. And we're talking about being thankful for all of life, life in all its aspects. Not just the things that we like, but even the things that cause us deep pain or anguish. You know, just even the depth of that experience, the profundity of that all-consuming experience. You know, what if we are, and I contend that we are, spirit having a physical experience, if that is the truth, then how rich are these brief moments of life that we experience with all the drama and the trauma and the delight, all of it. Thank you, Gia. Gia says, happy Thanksgiving to you, Mira, Rubin. Thank you. And I give thanks for the opportunity to be with you. I mean, this is so deeply enriching to me, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share these minutes with you on the weekdays, and to find a place of presence that, you know, it's like this is a morning meditation for me to be with you, and you know, to become present to what's available, and what's available is infinite. So what can you look at in your life that perhaps you've been wanting to push away? You know, maybe there are memories or experiences that you haven't been able to metabolize or to embrace as part of your path. Maybe there are experiences in your life that have brought you shame that you haven't faced yet. And so I want to talk about that just for a minute or two, because I did a session with someone yesterday. We were talking about finances and the challenges around money, and I shared some of my history around money, and deep mistakes and shame and deep challenges around it. And I don't have that shame anymore. And what this person reflected to me was that it was so powerful to them for me to be able to recount my experience, and just as an experience, so that they could know that they don't have to carry their shame around it. You know, we can forgive ourselves. We can have compassion for where we've been in our lives and for the mistakes that we've made, and that we can allow ourselves to grow and move forward from those things. And so I have deep gratitude for having been through those periods of my life that were torturous, absolutely torturous, things that I didn't imagine I would ever be able to get through, where it felt like the world was coming to an end. And I survived it, and I moved beyond it. And as I was able to integrate that, now I have the capacity to be with others who are experiencing something similar, and to support them in their transformation so that they don't have to go through it alone, that they don't have to carry that burden, that they can actually release it. And had I not had those traumas and dramas, I wouldn't have been able to be there to support those people in that way. And so this is the case for you too in your own life, to know that you've been through struggles and you've come to the other side. And even if you haven't yet come to the other side, to be recognizing that this is that all that struggle, all that pain is also very rich in and of itself. Gia, thank you. Gia says, I'm grateful for your presence. And likewise, deeply grateful. And Lisa, good morning, Lisa. Happy Thanksgiving to you. So good to have you here with us this morning. We're talking about giving thanks for all the aspects of our lives, even the pain, and maybe even especially the pain, not to perpetuate it forever, but for the lessons and the growth that it brings to us. And Rosalind says, I'm thankful for these mornings to continually explore the truth at the core. Rosalind, thank you so much for that, because I'm grateful for these mornings too. It's been such a profound and enriching experience for me, to be able to have these conversations with all of you. And so I'm inviting you and encouraging you to be grateful for your life, for all aspects of your life, for the richness of the experience. Think of it as the 10-ticket ride. Some people love to love roller coasters, right? Like this, people go on the roller coaster and they scream with fear and and excitement and that exhilaration. That is what this is. All the experiences, all the emotions, all the sensations, all the drama. And if we could step back and see the richness of that, we would have a much greater appreciation and tolerance and peace, I think, in going through what we go through in life. So Lisa says, I have so much to be thankful for this year. I'm truly grateful. That's beautiful, Lisa. I'm so glad to hear that. And I really want to thank you all for joining us on Thanksgiving. It's a holiday. People have all kinds of other things they're doing. So it's such a privilege to have you join us today, and really every day that you do. So I think that's it for this morning. And I'm just really wanting to encourage you to be grateful for all the experiences, not just the ones that feel good or look like the things that we want, but even the challenges and the grief and the despair that we might experience, to be grateful for that as well, because it does give us a range of experience, right? It is rich in and of itself, with the depth of it, the intensity of it, the transformative power of it. So with that, happy Thanksgiving, and so much gratitude to you and appreciation. And I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection. And I go live here each weekday morning on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I invite you to check out the other awesome programming on Enlightened World Network and Enlightened World Living and EWN One with the Earth. And until next time, which I hope is really, really soon, so much